I rise today to voice my concerns regarding the government's Bill number 50, an act to amend the Ambulance Act with respect to air ambulance services. This Liberal government has put forth this bill as a knee-jerk and self-serving reaction to divert attention from their leading role in the Orange air ambulance scandal. If you have been following the Orange scandal at the Public Accounts Committee of the Legislature, I'm sure you'll agree the Liberals' serious incompetence in this file is outstanding. It is alarming that this government has potentially left Ontarians at risk because an air ambulance may take too long or may not come at all. I look forward to the results of the coroner's inquiry regarding the deaths that occurred during Orange's operation since 2006. Orange was a start-up company with no aircraft, although it was tasked with the operation of Ontario's air ambulance service. They had little more than a hope and a dream to set up this not-for-profit firm. The former CEO, Dr. Chris Mazza, drew a paycheck of $1.4 million that was not disclosed on the Sunshine List. Other Orange executives received paychecks that should have been disclosed as well. Not only were the paychecks exorbitant, but they were kept secret. Orange set up for-profit entities to circumvent the rules of salary disclosure, as well as leverage public dollars for private benefit. Only 3% of the profits came back to the public purse. These for-profit companies were started in order to sell Orange's business model for air ambulance service to the world. No one asked Orange to do this. No one asked Orange to go worldwide at all, particularly before they had mastered the provision of air ambulance service here in Ontario. Since January 2006, Orange was paid over $730 million by the province of Ontario. In return, we have a mediocre air ambulance service that may still be proven to have put lives at risk. We have several former employees of Orange with graduate degrees from university paid for by the province. We have a former CEO that had the company pay for the mortgage on his house. We have questionable business deals and possible kickback payments. And last but not least, we have a fleet of Orange-designed helicopters that were supposed to be dependable workhorses, but don't even allow medical technicians to perform CPR on patients being transported, or use the same intravenous tubing that hospitals use. In response to question after question in this House and at committee, they duck, dive, and dodge the simple fact that they are at fault in this failed scheme. This government allowed this operation to be organized this way. The Minister of Health did not need the special powers that would be given by Bill 50. The Minister has had the power to intervene in Orange all along. This Minister's lack of judgment told her not to act to protect Ontarians. Nothing in Bill 50 reverses that fact. Nothing in Bill 50 brings the culpable to justice. And nothing in Bill 50 prevents another scandal. This government, through its minister, abdicated its responsibility and let Orange play around with taxpayer money like it was water. This government allowed patient care to be trumped by personal profit and grandiose schemes. This government still does not accept responsibility for this awful mess. Mr. Speaker, this Liberal government does not value oversight and accountability. It is plagued by its own managerial shortcomings because it skims over the details of a business deal, trusting lawyers to close loopholes. They shrug off accountability as disruptive to their agenda. They shirk their responsibility to provide oversight because they've got better things to do. I guess other things like grow the size and cost of government, as they've been doing. This government fails to protect the taxpayer. It started as soon as they took office in 2003. In their first budget, this government brought in the biggest single tax hike in Ontario's history, the $600 health care premium or health care tax. On its surface, this egregious tax grab was to fund Ontario's growing healthcare costs. Instead, it was wasted. Wasted on what? Well, the first thing our hard-earned tax money was flung toward was e-health. This was the government's first billion-dollar boondoggle. E-health relied on consultants, many of whom were Liberal insiders picked fresh from government. These consultants were allowed to let questionable contracts because this government didn't put in proper controls. Paid for with public dollars, the majority of these contracts were piecemeal, filled with ad hoc change orders, and didn't deliver what was promised. Recently, I brought this up with the former head of the Ontario Medical Association, and he confirmed that we are nowhere close to a usable system of electronic health records. Years and years after McGuinty and his Liberals took us down this path, the job is still not done. Today, eHealth has 700 employees, billions of dollars wasted. Unfortunately, the Orange scandal is not over. The Public Accounts Committee has not finished its work. The committee must come forward with its recommendations. Only then will the public be reassured that the bleeding has stopped. Only then will we have confidence in the administration of our air ambulance service. Bill 50 does not solve the problems found with Orange. As we know, the minister had the power all along to intervene, to ask questions, to change the direction of this agency. Without a vigilant and capable health minister, Orange could happen again. Without a minister who is willing to step in and make things right before things spiral out of control, Orange could happen again. The main reason we know about the problems at Orange is employees of the beleaguered agency came forward with their information. These are the whistleblowers we admire for their courage and dedication to good government service. Although many people did not come forward because they were afraid of losing their job. Proper whistleblower protection was not there to remove their apprehension. We need to protect employees who come forward. We need real whistleblower protection. Bill 50 does not provide across-the-board protection for whistleblowers. As an example of this government's contempt, this bill imposes limits on which individuals are protected and who these individuals can approach with information. Mr. Speaker, if this government was serious about protecting whistleblowers, this bill would provide a formal process through the Office of the Ombudsman. The Ombudsman would reassure any individual that their confidentiality is secure and their concerns will be properly investigated. Given that Bill 50 does not provide any new powers to the minister and Bill 50 does not adequately protect whistleblowers, Bill 50 amounts to little more than a smokescreen for this government. It gives the appearance of a strong response to the Orange scandal. In truth, the strong response was required from this government years ago when the problems were beginning to rear their head. In fact, these problems could have been prevented from the start by an ironclad performance agreement with this agency. This health minister and this government cannot run from their mistakes. Bill 50 is not worth our vote. I cannot support this government's weak attempt at accountability and oversight. This bill will not put us on the right path. We all need to vote this bill down. Thank you.